guys, it's Tracy and Violet. It's right over there from Tea Time with Tracy and Violet, and I'm just trying to knock off a few videos tonight. It's going on 11 o'clock at night, and yeah, I haven't done a video in a few days. Well, a couple of weeks really, so I thought tomorrow's the first day back for the kids to go back to school, and even though it's online school here at home here in Nova Scotia for 1 week, it's supposed to be just for 1 week, but we'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. But the holidays are over. Happy 2022. And yeah, I thought I'm just going to bang them out with this little pot of tea that I have. And I've done 3 videos so far. So I'll talk about another book that I read. This is a big one. This is a dark romance. Den of Vipers. I have one of those lights. Den of Vipers. This is not going to be everybody's cup of tea, I can tell you. Yeah, people either really like it or really hate it. And I liked it. I did. So I don't really read just one genre. You know, I read horror. I read dark romance. I do read some contemporary. I haven't really reviewed any historical romance on here, or fluffy or thrillers. I do read them though. I do. I'll get to them some point. But this book I read quite a long time ago, and then I listened to it on Audible this December because I wanted to talk about it, but it's been a long time since I read it, and the Audible was fantastic too. People that did it, I'll put their names here, I forget who did it, but they did a phenomenal job, honestly. I'm just gonna have, I'm having some cinnamon orange tea. It's very good. It's very hot too. I heat the kettle on my wood stove. Yeah, like I said, it's almost 11 o'clock. It's really cold outside. January, Nova Scotia. That's all I gotta say. But I did make notes about this, but I don't know where my book is, so I'm just gonna wing it. But since I've read it twice, you know, I remember the gist of what this book is about. So for the most part, there's 5 characters in this, main characters in this book. Roxy, who is the one girl who is a very aggressive, headstrong, no nonsense kind of woman. Rough, rugged, and raw, I'm telling you. And the voice, the lady that did the voice in Audible was perfect, perfect. Yes, Roxy, and then 4, it's not so much mafia, but like crime family, even though they're not blood family. There's Garrett, who doesn't like to be touched by women. There's Ryder, there's Kenzo, who are actual brothers, and then there's Diesel, who is absolutely insane, crazy. But the 4 of them are like one family. So Roxy, who is probably in her mid-20s, I forget now, works out of this hole-in-the-wall dive bar that she runs. She's estranged from her father. Her mother, I think, has passed, but she has been estranged from her mother, or from her father, for years. And when she was a young teenager, this old man that had this dive bar took her in. He wasn't a creep or anything. He kind of let her stay there. She worked in the bar, and then the old man passed away and she took over the bar. So it's her baby, pretty much. This really dive bar, it's her baby, and she runs it. And she's a young woman, but she's had a hard life. And she really grew to really like that old man, like he was like a father figure that she never had, sort of thing. So estranged. Okay, that's a little nugget of Roxy. Now, her idiot father owed this crime family called the Vipers money. You'll find that often in mafia things, that somebody owes somebody money and they give their daughter or wife or whatever. But this father, who is estranged from his daughter, said that they can have his daughter for payment. So they agree, and they go to collect said daughter, Roxy, who is at this dive bar. They don't actually go the first time around. They send 4 of their goons or 2 or 3 of their goons to go get her, and she kicks the ever-living daylights out of them with a baseball bat, and it's hilarious. That's one of my favorite scenes in this whole story, and I loved reading it and I loved listening to it because she's a cocky son of a bitch, and she's like, yeah, bring it on, suckers. And she cold cocks him, just flattens him right out with a smile on her face. And I just loved it. I loved it. That's the first kind of action scene in this book. And yeah, so when the goons go back to these 4 brothers, not real brothers, but that's what they'll say that they are, they're kind of like, what? This little girl, because she's not very big, how? And it's a story, right? Like, realistically, these goons are doing what they professionally do. How could they really be taken in by this little girl? I don't mean to sound like that, but really. But it's a fictional story. It's not real. It's not. I don't take it seriously. I grin and just take it for what it is. So they decide to go themselves. And she's just as cocky as she was with the goons that were sent. So, long story short, they end up bagging and tagging her, getting her back to where they live. It's like in a high rise. They own the whole building. High rise. They have the condo at the top and stuff. And they're not mean to her. They give her her whole suite, like, room. And she's like, you can't keep me here. You can't keep me here. And they try to reason with her. Well, we have to take you or we lose face. We can't let people think. Like, they try to reason with her, but she's just like not having any of it. Not having it. And I understand. I wouldn't either. These guys are handsome. They're big. They're tatted. They're whatever. One of them is dressed in fancy suits. The other one, I wouldn't say he's more friendly, but he's a little softer. A little softer. Just a little bit. And then Garrett, he's the biggest of them all. He's all scarred up and he's huge. He's like huge. I think he has a buzz cut and he's quiet. He doesn't say anything. And then Diesel, I picture him with the ponytail. I forget if he has one or not. But he's crazy. The only thing in that book, I found Diesel calls her a little bird too much. That got on my nerves, but that's just me, probably. But he's crazy. Like, he enjoys killing. He enjoys torturing people and really torturing them. And, yeah, he's a little whackers crackers. He is. So, there's no other way to say it. So, anyways, she's trapped in this high-rise condo. She tries to escape. She pulls some pranks, not even pranks, some shenanigans that I'm surprised they don't beat the hell out of her, which that's not appropriate at all. But if they're supposed to be big crime guys and anybody, man or woman, doing what she's doing, you'd think they'd put a stop to it and not stand back and say, oh, well, whatever. But again, fictional story. They must be just made of money, and it's okay. They'll just throw a Lamborghini away or whatever the vehicle was, different things. Anyway, she's kept there, and again, they're not mean to her. They don't hurt her at all. Like, they don't punch her or kick her or threaten her life or anything like that in that sense. And cutting out a lot of this stuff, she grows to kind of okay with them. What she's really worried about is losing her baby. She doesn't want to lose that. And they kind of took that over. Like, they shut it down. They own the property now. And that's what she's more worked up about. Now, this book comes with a whole bunch of trigger warnings. And so look them up. I'll tell you some that I remember. There's sexual assault, like dubious consent. some people would say non-consensual, and I can see both sides of it. There's a fair bit of blood play in this, like blood acts in sexual situations. Um, yeah, yeah. There's tortures of people, like grotesque things. Um, yeah. So look up the trigger warnings for this because there's a whack of smut in this book. There is, but the characters kind of. I don't like books that are just 100% smut. I'm not the biggest erotica person. Like, I can't just read a book that's all smut. I like plot driven stories. And this had a bit of one. This had a lot of smut in it, though. Um, but I wanted to read it because everybody said it was like you either love it or hate it. And I wanted to see where I fit in that category, what slot I would fall down on. So part of the plot is this crime family, besides the whole Roxy situation, they run this part of the city and somebody's kind of taking over. Like, they would get paid from other businesses for protection, but now some other group is coming around getting paid for protection from them. And if these businesses don't pay this other group, they hurt them no matter what. You know what I mean? Whereas apparently what they would do, they'd offer people protection. And if those people said no, they would just leave them alone, but they wouldn't offer them protection from the crime-ridden city sort of thing. Basically. Now, when it came to the bigger people, there's bigger agencies that would pay them for security in the city, and they're not an official business, so they're not under a contract. But if this big company decides to start paying a different company for protection, these guys are going to notice, and it kind of draws their attention, and things get a bit slippery, and Roxy gets tangled up into it, and it goes from there. I'm not going to say a whole lot about what the plot is because it's not that big, but it probably didn't need to be as long as it is, but I didn't mind. I really didn't mind it. I didn't mind. I enjoyed it. But yeah, heavy on the smut. But some of the wisecracks Roxy comes out with, some of it's cheesy, but there's one near the end, and I can't remember what page it's on, but yeah, there's 637 pages in this. So it's a big one, but I'm certainly glad I read it, and I really did enjoy it. So I would recommend it if you don't mind a bit of the dark side and being okay with some of the trigger warnings, like if those didn't bother you, sort of thing, because this isn't a light, fluffy relationship, but it's pretty much a reverse harem. It's non-consensual at first because she's kidnapped. It is non-consensual in some situations, but as time goes on, perspectives change and feelings develop, as twisted and crazy as they are. Yeah, I would recommend it, but certainly not for everybody. That's the only book I've ever read of K.A. Knight. I don't think I even read the back of this, did I? No, I didn't. Yeah, Ryder, Garrett, Kenzo, and Diesel, the Vipers. They run this town and everyone in it. Their deals are as sordid as their business, and their reputation is enough to bring a grown man to his knees, forcing him to beg for mercy. They are not people you mess with, yet my dad did. The old man ran up a debt with them and then sold me to cover his losses. Yes, sold me. They own me now. I'm theirs in every sense of the word, but I've never made meek and compliant. These men, they look at me with longing, their scarred, blood-stained hands holding me tight. They want everything. I am everything. I can't see very good. They want everything I am, everything I have to give, and won't stop until they get just that. They can own my body, but they will never have my heart. The Vipers. I'm going to make them regret the day they took me. the girl, she bites too. So yeah, she certainly does. She certainly does. So Roxy, I really like her. Yeah, I really like her. And if you don't feel like reading this in paperback or hardcover, check out the Audible because they did a phenomenal job. They really did. So that's all I'll say about this one. And yeah, so I've read this actually twice and I enjoyed it both times. I really did. So with that, I'm going to say peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you so choose. But if not, that's okay too. I still love ya. I still want all the happiness in the world for each and every one of you out there. I certainly do. I really, really honest and truly do. Yes, I do. So, all right, guys. Well, with that, I'm going to say have a good night or have a good morning. And I might see you tomorrow. Bye. Bloop.